Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
Got it.
Got it. Oh, all right.
All right.
I'm starting. Jackie is in the pose that we call recline. Uh,
I am.
Apparently you had a 4 a.m. flight out of, I don't know I don't know why you made this choice, but I need to hear it.
I assume that I'm saving 11.50. I don't know why. I mean, there must have been some sort of financial reason, because there was no reason. Andy's not here. He's with his mom. He was here till Saturday, yesterday.
How did you, wait, so you left Omaha at what time this morning?
It was a 6 a.m. flight. So
Oh my God. And you had 2 shows last night in Omaha. So what time did you
no,
get back?
Mother's Day. Turns out, you may not know this about me. I am not a mother, and so I'm not a draw. And so
Wait, what do you mean? Are you in Omaha right now?
I was in Omaha, and
Okay.
they had to consolidate the shows because it was also the first nice weekend. Colleen was very nice, Omaha Funny Bone. She was like, I don't blame any of this on you, because she's like, it's the first nice weekend,
Yeah.
Mother's Day,
Yeah.
and everybody's still trickling back from the COVID. And she said the only person who could have filled that room was Tracy Morgan. He's coming in 3 weeks.
Well,
So I was, she was very supportive.
mhm.
And but I flew in on Friday. There was only one show Friday night because
Okay.
it's going to be 7:30 and 9:30, but it was
Yeah.
just one. And then last night was going to be 7 and 9, and they did just 7.
Wow. How much was your airfare? I'm just curious.
$700.
What the fuck is happening? I'm supposed to be at Go Bananas in July, and I was going to try to get early airfare, and it's like close to $1,000 to go to Cincinnati from LAX, not even Burbank. It's ridiculous.
Right. Are you good? Can you use points?
I don't have my points are on JetBlue, and JetBlue doesn't go.
Right.
I need to
Yeah.
go, except for New York.
I was just telling Kyle that so what I flew Southwest to this thing.
Hmm.
And so I flew through Denver there, and then to Omaha, and then this morning Omaha to Phoenix, to home, to Burbank.
Horrible.
But Burbank, and it was but here's the weird thing, that we were stuck on the tarmac in Phoenix for 25 minutes. So Southwest has the ABC, I paid for early bird. So
Oh,
I'm in the A group, but we're on the tarmac for 25 minutes. And so I get off the plane. I have to walk. Luckily, it's in the same terminal. Phoenix is small.
hmm.
I go, 3 more gates down. I get on the plane. They've already boarded A.
No.
Yes, I was mad, but I was like, don't sweat it. Just go, just be there. So I go, and I get an exit row. I like an exit row, but I didn't get a window exit row, but I got an exit row.
That's good.
And yeah, it's fine. And then but I had to throw my bag down on the seat and say to the person, I have to go to the bathroom. so I
And
I
they don't
come
want to
back.
know that about you.
Nobody needs to. I was like, I protect that seat is what I meant to
Yeah.
say. And but so when I landed in Burbank, I was standing at the carousel, and I'm like, there's absolutely no way that my luggage made it. I barely made it.
Right.
So I go, and I was just talking to, I said, hey, can you check and see where my luggage is? And she was like, oh no, it did not make it. And she said, do you want us to deliver it to your house? And I said, yes. And then so they called a couple hours ago, and they said, we have your luggage. You can pick it up anytime in the next 5 days, or we can deliver it. And I said, you said you deliver it? She said, yeah. And I said, well, how much is the voucher for? Because it was like, she said, or we give you a voucher. And because of how expensive airfare is right now,
Yeah.
I said, how much is the voucher? $150. That's a dent.
And you
That's
only
a
have to go
dent.
to Burbank, right?
Well, right, and I only have to go to Burbank to get it. So I'm gonna, after this, if I can chug this coffee, I'm gonna
Where are you gonna? I mean, you're gonna have to park at Burbank though.
yeah, but it's under 20 minutes. So
All right.
It should either be free or $3.
Yeah. I would love it if all airlines delivered our luggage. I mean, that's the least they could do, quite honestly, after the we've been putting up with. Um, well, I mean, that's, were the shows fun that you did
They
have?
were really fun. They were hilarious. They were weirdly fun
Yeah.
because the last time I did a club there was never. I think I did the Eddie Brill Festival, which was
In
so
Nebraska.
in Nebraska, in the sticks somewhere. The last time I did anywhere near Omaha was in the 90s. It was a Muller run, and
Oh,
it had that North Platte run on it. And every time he asked me to do that run after that, I was like, "Is North Platte still in that run?" And he said yes, and I was like, "I'm not doing it." And because North Platte was such a disaster. Other
that's
things,
that's Johnny Carson's hometown. That's where Eddie Brill had that festival.
not North Platte.
Oh no?
No, North Platte was just a Ken Muller. He's the Tribble guy for the
Yeah, I
Middle
know.
West.
Oh, that's
So
weird.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, it isn't North Platte. North Platte was, and I did a joke about it on my Bread album,
Right.
also on the half hour special where they cut out the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was like, I don't want to ever do that town again because of how bad that one time. I've since forgotten it. I've done Albuquerque since then. That was a nightmare, and I've done Rosemont
Albuquerque's a great
Zanies.
town. Oh, but you worked
So
for that one time for Russ, right? Russ
yeah,
Vegas?
it
Yeah.
was that terrible Russ story,
I
and
mean, yeah.
it's never the audience's fault.
Hmm.
Um, well, there's a margin of error there, but the but I would say that almost always it's not the their fault. But this time Omaha was so fun. I wish it was longer. I hope that I hope that the club it's been there. It's been in that place for 17 years.
I haven't been at that place then. When I was there, it was like the early '90s, early to mid, before I moved to New York, and it was really fun.
I was telling
Um,
her about you and Kira Sultanovich.
oh, cool. Did she
And I was
remember that she booked me before?
she knew your name for sure.
What?
She had never heard. Well, the early 90s. How long ago was that?
I don't know. I remember working there. Why don't they remember working me?
Well,
I was just featuring, or maybe even emceeing. I forget, but
okay.
probably featuring because I wouldn't go out there for MC stuff. But
But she had never heard of Kira, and I was like,
what?
Kira Sultanovich will destroy. She will take hostages, and people will want to stay with her. It will be Stockholm syndrome all over.
What did
So
you say about me?
I said that you would always. I love that your face is real close to the camera. And what nice things did you say about me? I said all the nice things about you, Laurie.
All
And
right.
and and then I went to breakfast, and I think I might have put this on the thread, but I only got to do one thing because I was there such a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And right,
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the NASA and Space Air Force Museum, but it would have been a 45-minute Uber each way.
Oh,
So that was too much.
so it's a Friday, Saturday now, or is it?
Yeah, it's just Friday, Saturday right now. But I think she'll build and it'll come back.
Yeah. Um, that's cool.
But it's the only one that Stroop doesn't book.
Oh, Stroop.
Yeah.
Is there one comedy chain that I'm not that I could participate in this fucking country of ours?
That we haven't been somehow blackballed for no reason, just because of neglect.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's like blackballed for neglect. That could be the title, Kyle.
I don't know. Yeah, it should be. Well, let's see. I did my Rush Ticks show
Right.
last night. It was
with Diva Deluxe, right?
with Danielle Perez and yes, Diva Deluxe and Maggie May. It was really fun. I made a video. I made a couple of videos to promote it, and I doubled the ticket sales like in the last couple hours before the show, just like to remind people.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's Saturday. If you're not doing anything, and you're obviously not, because you're on
Right.
Twitter. Come to the show. It's only, and if you're listening to this Monday morning, you can buy a ticket for $10 right now and watch it for the rest of the day. It's like it stays live on their site for 48 hours. You do have to get on it and watch it, but
Yeah.
you know,
But
I don't know.
it's the old Zoom promotion where you're like, it's happening in the next hour. Are
Right.
you doing anything else? You aren't. Give me $10, please.
Yeah, it was quite a deal. Quite a deal. And it
It
was
really is.
fun.
That's a
And
great lineup.
I
Yeah.
did forget, like on Zoom shows, you can sort of start riffing a little bit, you know? I mean, it's a different sort of space with the audience, but I felt like I came up with a couple new riffs because what the fuck? You know, it just, the stakes were so low.
Right.
And
Super fun.
It was
Yeah.
fun. I had a really good time. It made me want to do more of those, you know.
More online shows. Every time I do an online show, I'm like, I liked these. They have
Yeah.
a different vibe to them, and you
Yes.
write differently for them. And I think that you feel more comfortable in your own home somehow doing
It's
stand-up.
different. It's just a
Yeah.
good mix. I think we hated them after a while because that was the only thing that was available aside from outdoor shows. So
Yeah.
if now we're able to,
Make
you know,
put them in the
mix.
mix. Yeah, put them in the mix. I'm all right with that.
And there's some people that are never going to come to a comedy club again. And there's I mean, everyone else has COVID. Everyone's getting COVID. My feed of very disparate, you know, types of people are all, it's all, I have COVID right now. It's crazy.
It was me and 6 other people wearing masks on the damn airplane today. I was like, you guys are dum-dums.
Wow. Yeah, so this weekend, so Friday night, I flew to San Francisco. It was pretty masked, and same on the way back. I would say at least half, and half the flight attendants too. I can't believe flight attendants wouldn't be masking. That's just shocking to me. Some of these, and they're older. Like, I just want to go, you know, you are a walking comorbidity. Why don't you? You won't do well if you get COVID. You know, I'm seeing like this woman's probably 60, 65 years old. I don't know. Whatever. But okay.
Well,
That's her
I mean,
problem.
it's right. Well, and if they're vaxxed, people think that they're more protected.
They are more protected. But also,
Yeah.
you know, it's a pretty crafty little disease and it's starting to figure out how to get around the vaccines, and it likes to kill people. I don't know. It's so shocking to me that people don't get that. It keeps shifting. It keeps changing and coming for us. It's a very relentless serial killer that hasn't completely been caught. Like, whatever. So anyway, I'm in Half Moon Bay for the night.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It's, first of all,
Did you
my
go for a
heart
gig?
in Northern California. I love it. You know, I want to live to be 150 years old so I could do comedy till I'm 80 and then just spend 70 years in NorCal just chilling. You know, I love a beach that's cold. Okay, I'm not
Okay.
one of these people that loves the Bahamas. You know, the water should be freezing
Okay.
and uncomfortable to swim in. All
I
right,
don't want
People should
I
be
don't want
fully
either
dressed
of
at the
those two
beach.
things. I was like, is there a coffee shop that's right where I can feel the breeze? That's
Yeah.
all I want. That's all I
Right.
want.
Oh, plenty of this. This is Northern California. There's plenty of coffee shops, and then
No,
it was
but
like foggy and misty. I was like, oh, this is the California I know. I don't know what the fucking Beach Boys are even talking about. Okay, this is my NorCal. It's where you're wearing a coat
It's
and
a very large state. You're not wrong.
right. So. So I'm staying in the Half Moon Bay Inn, which is basically just bedrooms. It's like a dorm, kind of, you know.
Okay.
Somebody had a huge fight at 2 a.m. and screamed "fuck you." It sounded like a teenager, and then they stormed out of the hotel. And then I moved the chair under my door just in case they were going to come back with a machine gun. That's our
Ah,
world.
it's a nice callback to the early 2000s.
Oh sure.
And
Oh
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
the
yeah.
one
for
the
sure.
one-nighter runs. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so the show, Phil Griffiths. Do you know Phil? He's a North Bay comic, right? At Half
I
Moon
know
Bay.
his name, and I probably met him. I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's very funny, and so he booked the show. It was a benefit for the school, and Half Moon Bay is very. When I was growing up, it was probably wealthy, but we just thought of it as like hippies and stuff like that. And of course, like everything in the Bay Area, it's been taken over by incredible wealth, right? So
Right.
I was like, all right, it's a benefit for school. I'm like, it must be, all right, there's some, underserved communities, I'm sure, in Half Moon Bay, right? So I get there and I Google, first of all, I get the name of the school as I'm getting off the plane. I'm like, all right, I'll look into the school, look it up. But as I'm being driven to the gig up, maybe it's the Highway 1 or something. I drive by the school. The school's on my right. And you know what's
Okay.
on my left? The
What?
Pacific Ocean. So the
Right.
school has a view of the ocean. The school I'm
Right.
doing a benefit for. That's
Yeah.
my first clue.
That they
Uh,
may not. What does everyone not have enough? They need their second iPads.
Well,
Are
no,
they
it's
missing
like
their
a
wireless mouse?
fourth indoor pool. So like I start looking up the school. It's 12 kids to one teacher ratio.
Wow.
I'm like my son. It's 36 kids per class, right? The classroom size is ridiculous. And the tuition, it's a private. The tuition's like $25,000 a year. I'm like, what? Oh, what? Who am I doing this for? But I don't care because I told them it's
Who are you doing it for?
I can't do a benefit unless you pay me pretty well because it's a weekend and I might get. I'm not going to turn down a weekend to work at a club, so it's got to
Yeah.
pay close to that. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
okay.
they're making enough money. They're making enough money to
This is
pay the
before I
talent.
knew they made money. I
Yeah.
literally thought it was a public school or something. So
Right.
whatever. So it was fine with me. I wasn't giving up anything,
Good.
and but it was a really fun gig. It was outdoor in a tented outdoor space at a really cool bar, and there were like just a lot of I feel like there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of tech people there, and just a lot of extreme wealth. Because when I was there, when I got there, they were doing the auction, and the prices for like just a weekend in Napa were like people just kept outbidding each other. I'm just like, oh my god, they don't give a fuck. I could have asked for probably twice as much. I mean, maybe not, but still, whatever. Who cares? It was a fun show. Everyone was really nice.
Who
And,
else was on the show?
Phil, and then Ryan Goodcase, I think is his last name, who's very funny comic. He won the San Francisco comedy competition recently.
Okay.
So it was a really good lineup, really great audience, and everyone was really nice. It was just funny because usually when you're thinking of doing a benefit for a school, it's just whatever. It's different.
Well, it's usually in LA. All the ones that I've done for school benefits here. And it's always for some private school. It's always for someone who's paying 30, 40 grand a year for their kid to go to school.
That is true. I mean,
and
we should do
there
benefits for Publix.
there has right, but there is donors choose. There should be like a donors choose benefits. But it's always been like a half a dozen comics. Last one I did was for Dave Anthony's kids, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it was like 5 comics, everyone doing 10s. So did you guys get to do 20s or?
No, I did a full like 55.
Oh, you closed.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And then, just hung around Half Moon Bay for the limited amount of time I was there and enjoyed it. And then came home early in the morning to prep for my Rush Tick show. I wanted to make another video. I am getting faster on Kapwing, which is what I'm using to like caption.
Is that an app?
Yeah.
Is it on your laptop or is it on your phone
It's a web-based app
that you're using on a computer?
Yeah, you could use it on anything. It does work better on my desktop than on my iPad. just because.
And are you shooting it on your iPad and bringing it to your desktop? Or are
Yeah,
you shooting it on your desktop?
I kind of just I did one video earlier in the week where I said, "Oh, here's my set list," and then I gave a fake set list of make fun of my fellow comedians, and then this was a real set list, and so I just like it made like 5 10-second videos. And so I could just clip
Yeah.
them together. I captioned each one separately and then join them together later because that's what I had to do with Kapoing. You can't you know what you have the subtitle as a layer. It won't merge the layer until you save it finally. So anyway, it's you just have to make 5 little videos and then put them together. It's kind of annoying, but
Right. There's so many different apps and different programs that we're all using different ones. And
right.
the people that are using, I mean, like Andy has the Adobe suite, so I could figure out how to do. Like I've looked into it. Premiere. I've looked into it. I can't. It's too. It looks. I'm like, I don't care this much. Is there? So I just go to Snapchat and I do hotel art, and then I download it, and then I caption it with Instagram Reels.
So
And
I don't even know how to use Instagram Reels to caption. It captions automatically.
yeah, you hit stickers, and one of the stickers is captioning.
Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I know captioning is under
stickers? Yeah, there's no reason. But here's the other thing: is that if you have to edit, like they always spelled my name Ka, they always spell my name Cashun.
Yeah.
And so any editing you do in Instagram Reels, you have to edit the thing all at once and then save. But in TikTok's captioning, you can save and then go, oh, I missed a typo there. You have to do all the typos at once in Instagram Reels.
Well, that's why everyone likes TikTok. Then you could go back and
except for that the captions in Instagram Reels are actually more interesting looking. With the fonts and stuff, yeah, the fonts are better looking. So
Jackie can't beat Comic Sans MS. I don't want to hear about it.
it has to be Comic Sans MS.
That's how they know you're funny.
That's how you know. But it was so the MC in Omaha, young man named Tyler, a couple years in, and had just moved from Iowa, like rural Iowa, where he was
really
stand up, to Omaha.
Okay.
To get into stand up better. And he was good. He had a weird haircut. His mom was there. Several fans of this show were oh my God, the feature each show asked for a demographic of how old the people were in the audience. And so Friday night he was like, how many of you people are in your 20s? No, never mind. How many of you people are in your 30s? How many are in your 40s? How many are in your 50s? So Friday show, almost everybody was in their 40s and 50s. A couple people in their 60s and one woman in her 80s. And and then Saturday it leaned more 30s 40s. And but merch sales is pretty good, and I got to work on some of the new stuff. And people came out that listened to this show, that one guy was like, all I do is, and his wife said he's not lying. All he does is sit in the garage and listen to comedy, and yours is one of them on Pandora.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was like, well, that's very nice. And he bought like 4 items. And I was like, thank you. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. And the stand-up was good. You know what I liked is, what I do like about comedy audiences is because of how tense everybody is, right? I mean, I did radio on Thursday for this Omaha gig in an effort to fill the room. And it was right after the Chappelle trans Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah, right.
Which happened in between the last episode and this episode, where some guy, where I guess, this is what I heard on the rumor mill. The guy that charged the stage had a gun with a knife taped to it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It was like a fake
gun with a knife inside of it.
Yeah, it wasn't taped. It was like, that was how it was like.
Oh, it was a fake gun with a knife?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if you said pow, it would have a flag but it was a knife.
I don't think it was a joke one, but yeah.
No, all right. I'm just trying to picture things.
Jackie, it's the latest in knife design. You make it look like a gun.
Oh man, I didn't know I had like a gardening knife in my backpack, and I made it all the way to Omaha through TSA. Coming
Oh,
back from Omaha, they found it, and I was like, I brought it all the way here. And the guy said, "Well, does that make you feel safe that we didn't find it on the way here?" And I said, "TSA Theater. It's been great to attend the show." And so I left it at that. But there was a point to that.
Chappelle.
Oh,
what-
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody, so on the radio, they were like, "Have you ever been charged? Have you ever been attacked?" And I was like, "Of course. People are dumb. There's a lot of drinking, and there's always, there was the guy who tried to wrestle the mic from my hand, but I had been told never give up the mic, never give up the mic, because
Sure.
then he has the mic, and then you don't have any power. But here's where a sane comic would go, yeah, that's when you leave the stage, you go into the green room, and you allow security to escort that person away.
Who does that? No one's giving up their stage time. Who fucking does that? That's not a real comic.
Greg Barrett offhand
shit.
comes
Well,
to
all
mind, and Chad Daniels.
All right. Well, both of them had a lapse in judgment because you always stay on the stage.
No, I think we're the ones with the lapse in judgment, because there's
That's
absolutely no
impossible.
reason. There's no reason to risk your life. You could go long. Anyway, so they'll give you 10 more minutes at the end.
All right. All
And then,
right.
and then back in the late 80s, a drunk woman charged the stage, but Darla was sitting in the front row and she tripped her.
Oh, nice.
So it was kind of nice. And
I don't think I've been charged. I mean that verb.
anybody come on stage?
Oh, sure. People wander on stage all the time. I always feel like they're trying to join me. I don't feel like they feel the connection is so personal that they can actually just pop up and start talking.
Featuring for Maria at the Women's Club in Minneapolis, a guy climbed on stage so that he could hug her. And he was super drunk. And she was like, "You seem really nice. What you should know is that back that way, there's a green room that has coffee."
I mean, I did have that person throw bread or a roll at me, which I happened to tape and put online. But
Ooh.
I haven't had. Yeah, it's just mostly people approaching, and then mostly men. I'll say
Almost always.
Yeah, but
And then
felt-
afterwards,
it's more in the hotel room where I feel in danger. I don't think I've ever felt in danger on stage.
no, it's usually after the show when I'm selling merch that I get, as we know, that I get cornered, or
Yeah.
that there's always there's just some dummy who is
Yeah.
like either a little gropey, or who wants to tell me their racist joke, or who is cock blocking the sale, Gilmartin.
That's
And
the
let's
real
just-
crime. Blocking the sale. Stab me all you want with your fake gun, but do not clock.
Right. I got to make lunch money, people.
The
Um,
flight was $800 to get here. How the fuck are people supposed to make money this summer with flights like?
I don't.
It boggles the mind.
My Houston gig just got pushed so this weekend, I'm in Seattle doing the Upper Left Comedy Festival, just sort of a local comedy festival
Okay.
in Seattle for 2 nights. And then the weekend after that, I was doing a Houston Comedy Festival that they have decided to postpone till November. And
Is it
so,
COVID?
no, I think it was unclear whether it was tickets, or that the people who were running it had an issue, or whatever it was. But 2 weeks out, they're like, "Can we push this to November?" And I was like,
That's
"Well,
not-
I know." And I was like, "Well, let me look at my flight." I had already bought the flight, but it's again Southwest going to Texas, and the flight was expensive, but in November it's an additional $200. So I said to my agent, I was like, yes, but can they give me another $200? Because they were already underpaying me for, I think it was 500 to get there in 2 weeks. And now it's going to be 700. And,
This
I
is
was
not doable.
right. I mean,
I mean,
I have to find other work,
unless the
supplement my
clubs
work.
start kicking up the. I mean, the clubs are still giving like 200 for air. It's like what? That doesn't even get me there
Right.
half the time. It's a
Mhm.
contribution. It's not covering the air.
Yes,
Oh,
we're going to need more than a contribution. You were correct.
we are. I got a week at the not the flagship, but the second Comedy Works in July.
Which one?
Well, there's two of them, right?
I always do the Landmark, the one on Comedy Works South.
Yeah, South. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a bigger room. It's the downtown one is they're both great rooms. They're both great rooms. I did the downtown one a couple of times, the first couple of times I worked for her, and then she moved me to the south because I was selling out. And because again, Denver, the only place I do well or that well. And but Comedy Works South is exceptional. It's great. So congratulations, you're in.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
And I'm doing Punchline in August in San Francisco.
Right?
Mhm.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's great. Have you ever done it?
The San Francisco Punchline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah. But just
Um,
I'm on more of a 2 to 6 year rotation. So
oh, that's such a good room. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I have to watch a set and figure out what I can sell that's fun for merch, you know?
yeah. Yeah, you do.
It's fun, that's light.
That's light.
I'm telling you, first of all, buying books is expensive, you know? Like my initial investment is really expensive.
Right.
And then they're so heavy.
Right.
But
Well, let's
these fucking airfares, like I'm not gonna be making anything.
right. You got to sell merch. So what well let's talk about it, but let's take a quick break and
Right.
and and you also picked a comic of the week.
Yeah. Are we okay? This is all choppy. Are we doing comic of the week now?
Yeah.
Yes. Do we? Okay. All right. Yay, guys! We're doing comic of the week. Our comic of the week is Max Beasley.
Easily.
Yes, it's Max Beasley, three Y's at why Max why 3 Y's.
Why?
You have to ask why 3 times. Max, why 3 Y's at the end? Why? She's very funny. I just worked with her for the first time at the Yard maybe 2 months ago.
Oh wow.
And I just walked in. I was like, "Fuck, what a joke writer!" And
Okay.
since I've worked with her a couple more times, and
Can't wait.
very funny. She just posted that she's trans, like she came out as trans on social media.
Neat.
So I was like, "Oh, good, we can add her to the list of comic of the weeks."
Yeah.
I saw her. That wasn't. I didn't know that. She hadn't announced.
Right.
So
Had not announced it.
I was
So
yay.
I can't wait to see her.
Yeah,
That's
she's
awesome.
really good.
Max Beasley. That's great.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay. There you
Check
go.
out Max.
So, okay. So there could be the weird thing is like you don't want to carry t-shirts, right?
Well, here's the thing. I'm also like with t-shirts, then you got to worry about sizing, and then I kind of don't want to. I mean, maybe it's not a big deal, but I always feel like uncomfortable with women just going, trying to figure out their size, and what if you don't have enough XLs? Is that going to make someone who's an XL feel,
Bad.
bad?
You never want to make anyone feel bad. I've
Right.
taken to putting sort of the largest size I have brought with me
Mhm.
as the sample size,
Okay.
so that nobody has to ask what size they go up to.
Yeah.
And somebody tiny can just go, do you have extra small? And I could go, no, but I do have small, and you can see what it looks like. And
Did you just order more of the large sizes?
Andy has a spreadsheet that he's real proud of. That he
Oh my
tells me.
God, I bet he is. That
He's just
guy.
a
He's
guy
got a
loves this. He loves a spreadsheet, and but I have recently started carrying just sort of one 3X and one 4X with me, and then I'm bringing less shirts. I'm bringing like 3 each of sizes, and then 1 and 1 on the 3 and 4X, or I'm bringing 2 of each size if I bring 3 different styles. Remember, I am the Walmart of freaking merch here. I have too many styles. My Meat Shield t-shirts, I have to finish selling them so that I can make a final donation. But
That's so nice of you to donate. You know, I mean, that's nice. I mean, maybe it helps you sell as well. I'm sure it does. But it's also just nice of you. I mean, you're a comic. These are
I'm a
shitty
comic.
comics. You know, it's totally understandable if you're like cutting back on your donations. It's not a good time to be a live performer.
Right, but with the Meat Shield shirts, the way they were introduced, it was because it was such a shitty time for America. It's not. It's slightly better.
It did get better.
It got. I think Joe Biden has been shoveling against the sand as fast as he can, and
It did a little faster.
it'd be great. Unfortunately, everyone's 80, so and what I enjoy is the 28 to 37-year-olds who are like, he's too old. I wish Bernie Sanders was. What just happened there? And so everyone's 100 years old. Why don't you fucking run for something? And people are like, why don't you run for something? I'm like, well, because I'm busy doing stand-up and I don't want to. I've never wanted to. You know what I hate more than politics in general is a meeting. I don't like any sort of committee meeting where there's Robert's rules and the next point of order. I would just set off a gas bomb and it would be cyanide.
Yes, and asking for money all the time, you know?
Right, I'm getting better at that.
So you are. You are. But okay, so then I got all riled up because I got the Flappers newsletter.
And you read it.
I did.
Josh.
I read it.
I never read it.
I'm obsessed with comedy. I'll read anything, right?
It's true.
So I got the newsletter, and it was kind of like, and I ran into Paul at Flappers, and we were talking about it, so it was fine. But it wasn't points. Nothing was untrue. But it was, they were saying that, somebody, they had a TikTok person, a TikTok personality. I wouldn't even say a stand-up or a comic, a personality, sold the room out in like 15 minutes. And then they had an established headliner, a really funny person, had like 15 people on a Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like it was just stark and depressing. And it was a discussing, kind of like what people are responding to, the audience is responding to, and they respond to people, they sharing. You have to share yourself. And honestly, like if you look at like the podcast comics, so I don't want to name because I don't want to deal with anything, but people they spend more time doing their podcast than they are on stage, right? There's a lot of them, right?
And we wish that we were them.
Exactly. Total jealousy. You can't accuse us of being jealous because we completely admit.
Are you kidding? I just found out. Let me digress real quickly and then please go back. But Tom Segura and his wife,
Christina P. Yes.
Okay. Who I've met probably a handful of times.
Right.
And him too, quite honestly. I've only met them but they have a podcast.
Yes.
That makes something like $1 million each a year. And it's kicking people in the balls or something. It's like they talk about.
I think it's Your Mom's House. It's called Your Mom's House, but they make so much money. And she told me, I ran into her at the Comedy Store like a year ago, and she just confided in what we were making at the time, and it's only gotten bigger. And at the time, I almost started sobbing at a.
Well, but the thing is to my knowledge, that I guess during lockdown they were doing a lot of talking about embarrassing videos. Like it was a lot of juvenile comedy, talking about juvenile comedy, and maybe having a YouTube channel where they would show this kind of America's Funniest Home Video kind of thing.
Oh.
And so it just
What I mean is, like, we're underusing our personalities, right? They're funny people.
we're doing right. We're doing what we can over here.
Right. They're funny people. And so they had extra time on their hands because no one can perform and they're stuck at home. So they're like, fuck it. Let's just talk about somebody getting kicked in the nuts. And that's enough to make a lot of extra money. Boggles the mind. I don't understand the world. What I'm telling you is we have those personalities too, but we aren't using them that way. Why aren't we?
I don't know, but this is yet another sign of why I was not accepted on The Last Comic Standing in 3 houses, in 3 different seasons. I think it's because I'm a little too grounded and a little too. I was told this by Paige Hurwitz that I was slightly too sane, and I was like, isn't that a good foil? No, isn't that a foil against somebody's complete batshitness? And I never had that conversation.
Yeah, if you look at Real Housewives, there's never, not even a single grounded person. Like, right. I think in New York, Bethany was supposed to be grounded slightly, and she just turned insane. So no, even if you had started grounded, you would have lost your mind.
Right. Well. Right, I left that show with anxiety, so they can fuck themselves.
As a truly grounded person would have after leaving.
What should we? So what do you think our hook could be? Is there anything? Should we start a hot dog eating contest? What exactly is gonna be the thing?
Okay. I mean, I think people would watch. Now our careers would be over, but if we started commenting on other comedians' specials, like
just reviewing all the specials that were ever made. Well,
it's like you and I are P and P on the side, and we have the special as the main video, and each of us has a remote, and we'll pause the video after a joke, and then discuss its merits or demerits.
And
I believe while we would never work in clubs again, it's possible we might be a draw in other venues.
Right.
I'd facilitate shooting this. We can make this very easily. You guys want to ruin your career this afternoon?
This afternoon, it could happen where you're just like, I just know that if there was just a way that we could. There are 2 ways to do it. You can either scare people and then say, "Give me $20," and I'll keep talking about how you're right, you to be scared, or or we could ruin our careers that way. Yeah, that's.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, and I would offer up most of my comedy, except for the 2 new jokes that I like right now, right? Like, especially. My 90s comedy is totally open to be completely trashed. I get it, and I would support whatever you said. Or we could bring in a guest trasher to just be like, what the fuck is that? And I would be like, you're right. But overall, it couldn't be friendly. It would actually have to be very mean. And you and I are both very opinionated off stage about people's acts. Now, I think we try to here because
try to keep it together. Well, there isn't any point in it. And quite honestly, even when I see them, if I see them on stage, like the guy at the rail car breakfast place that I went to in Omaha yesterday, he asked me I was sitting at the bar. Here's the great thing about Omaha brunch: bottomless mimosas, bottomless Bloody Marys, $15, only for 4 hours though. Anyway,
that doesn't help you at all, right?
No, but they sat me at the bar because I asked for a table for one somewhere romantic.
You once were a bottomless mimosa, if I'm not wrong.
Would have been a bottomless Bloody Mary, probably. I never liked champagne, and so it comes out that I do stand up. I've been alone for a day, so I tell them, and one of the bartenders who ends up bringing his girlfriend to the show Saturday night, he he goes, "Oh, who's your favorite comic?" And I put this on the thread, and I was like, so I told him that when I think about sort of the great writers right now, it's Maria Bamford and Stuart Lee.
Mhm.
And he was like, "I've not heard of either of them." And I was
What?
like,
I mean,
right.
Stuart Lee, okay, he's the UK, but
Yeah.
for God's sake.
Well, and he told me he was a huge stand-up fan. And so I was like, okay. He said, "Yeah, is there anybody more famous?"
Oh, Jesus.
So I was waiting for my Uber, and I ran back in. I was like, ooh, Emo Phillips and Paula Poundstone. And because they're our age, right? Or a little older maybe.
They're older, Jackie. Please.
Okay, they're but they've been but they are more famous than both Maria, I think, just because of
Yeah.
society or whatever.
Length
And
Mhm.
and he had heard of both of them. But what I've realized is that when someone asks me who my favorite comedian is, when they realize I'm a comic, they want to tell me who their favorite comedian
Yes. Yeah, you're
is. And
right.
he was like, "You're not going to like who I say." And I said, "You don't have to tell me." And then he told me, and it was a guy that I don't mind. I don't care. He's just another button pusher guy, and the writing isn't exceptional for me. It isn't for me.
Right.
And I don't care. And so, but he also liked a guy that I really like that I went to Iraq with. He liked Nate Bargatze.
Oh yeah. Oh, Nate's
I
great.
loved it. I love Nate Bargatze. He's a
Yeah.
storyteller and really smart and really silly.
Mhm.
And some of my favorite kind of stand up. And I was like, "Why don't
Yeah.
you come and see me?" And he did, and he had a good time.
Oh, hey, that's cool. Yeah. We what we would have to do, we have to come up with something that's easy, right? That
Sure.
commenting on other stuff is incredibly easy. We're
Right?
both funny. Well, it'll be funny commentary. We would put like the first 5 minutes out for anyone, and then the last 45 is purely Patreon.
Right,
Or
or
the
some
last
other
30 or
crazy
whatever it is.
cameo. Did you sign up for Cameo? You said you signed up for
I
Cameo.
signed up. I haven't made my invitation video. I thought I'd wait till after Mother's Day so I would make as little money as possible. My business sense again kicking in.
Oh, it always. Hey, do you want to take a break? You want to take a 45?
Okay. All right, we're back.
Right. So I've been trying to figure out what you could do for merch that would be particularly Laurie Kilmartin. You know, I mean, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I feel like just what about black armbands that are just for mourning? And
God. Funeral cards where you could fill in your parents' name.
just something
I think it's
light.
probably something parenting wise would be better, you know?
Okay.
Something for mothers or a parent that is actually useful would be kind
Right. What about that Coca-Cola bear? What about your polar bear joke? Is that on the new album?
No.
Oh, good. The polar bear, the Coca-Cola
Oh,
the
yes.
Coca-Cola polar bear is an adorable image.
That is heavily trademarked, I might
No.
add.
I have Brawny Paper Towel Guy Swiss Miss Lady Gummy Bear t-shirt that are all slightly off of trademark.
Oh.
Jeff Tice did it. So all it would be, like the thing is you have essentially a climate change joke.
Mm-hmm.
And you could either do something with adorable Pegasuses
Or centaurs.
or centaurs or the polar bear from Coca-Cola.
You're right.
And,
if you guys
and
are
what I
wondering-
recommend,
If you guys are wondering what the fuck Jackie's talking about, you can watch it on the Rush Ticks that is still available for like
Right
till
now.
6 p.m. tonight, okay? And if you don't and you didn't have time, I'm sorry, I fucking promoted it forever, okay? That's on you, and you have to see me live. And hope I do that bit that night.
and come and see me in Seattle. So, but here's a good way to test out merch. Make a sticker.
Okay.
make a sticker. You get 1,000 of them, and 1,000 stickers are probably $300. They're
Okay.
30 cents each.
Okay.
And you can try to sell them. I know the MC was selling stickers over the weekend,
Yeah.
but I just give them away. But when I did the squish t-shirt, before I did the t-shirt, I did the stickers. And people were like, "This is adorable." And I was like, "Yeah, that's going to sell." And so you can get the art, and I'm sure if you we can brainstorm some more, but I think that there's
Really good
definitely
idea.
something there,
That's a good idea.
because I mean, just think about Pegasus is flying over a suburban home,
Yeah.
and but that doesn't have to be that, but it would be funny.
No, but it could be also the centaur getting. Well, we'll talk about this off stage because I don't want to ruin my jokes for anybody.
Right, you guys, she's this joke is, I think it's close to being done, right?
You know what though? I mean, not that I just would want to somebody because I early in that bit, somebody I forgot who it was at when I was at Cantor's doing a set. I think on Esther's show. I think right.
That dive bar?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right across from the dime. Whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me that idea about the Pegasus is flying. Like that is not my idea. Somebody else gave that to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's genius!"
Yeah.
Fuck, I need to know who that was so that I can properly credit them. Even my dog is upset that.
That you can't remember who that comic was.
So I'm in Canada, right?
Yep.
Every fucking penny I earn in Canada, I have to spend on William because Charmy has figured out how to. She climbs the fucking tree and
You
jumps
showed me
over a
that.
6-foot fence.
You showed me that because I stopped at your house to drop off those 2 books for the boy.
Yes, and so
your
we have
man-child.
to add 2 inches of fence and then like spikes curl over. So and my son's father saw her climb up and see the spikes and then climb down.
Yes, worth every dime. Then she's not stupid.
I hadn't
Like, oh, I don't-
incorporated that into my expenses. That I had a fucking tree climbing pit bull.
Yes, it's true. It's so what we're doing is I'm cleaning my house by room, which is a way of emptying a room into another room,
Mhm.
throwing out or recycling a third of the items from that room, and then putting other stuff in boxes so that my mother-in-law will have a place to live. And so,
Oh man.
is right. So, like this right now, we're working on the living room here.
Sure.
So
You guys are going to become storage experts as you figure out where to put all your shit.
all our stuff. Really,
How's the bathroom coming along?
it's coming along. It's not. It's. I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to. Quite honestly, so Andy's up there now. He had COVID he tested positive for COVID last week. And because
That's
at the
having
beginning
COVID
of his right, well, before the semester begins, they all have to do a PCR test.
Right.
'Cause he also teaches at that tech university, right?
Yeah.
And so he tested. He gets the thing back. I'm driving to his mom's house to sub out his cousins to stay with her overnight.
Yeah.
Last Sunday, I'm 20 minutes from the house. He calls from her house. He calls me, turn around. You might have been exposed. I had COVID. I tested positive, and I was like, do you have any symptoms? And he was like, no, I don't have any symptoms.
That's
So,
crazy. It never would have occurred to him to even test based on his symptoms.
right. So we had Carmen Morales is staying with us in the guest room. So she has to go take a PCR test, and she has to move into a hotel for 2 nights to wait for her PCR test to come back. And but we've been around him for the 3 days since he took the PCR test. So we've been exposed to the whole thing. So I go and take a PCR test. Carmen takes a PCR test. Well, I go to Andy's mom's house, and we all take a rapid test.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause Andy had also just been with his mom the day before the PCR test, and then we ask our nephew's girlfriend, who has a more flexible job, if she can stay with Chris, his mom.
So his mom needs basically 24-hour, not care, but someone to be around, surveillance or something.
That's where we were at about a month and a half ago, and so we're going with that right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So So anyway, so she stayed. So he went up. So I get the PCR test. Mine's negative. Carmen's is negative. He buys a new kind of home test. $79 molecular. It's like a home PCR test. It takes an hour, 45 minutes to get the test back. And it is an ecological nightmare. It comes with 2 batteries. It's got all the plastic in the world. I think there's a baby seal that's jammed into it. It's the worst thing.
Right.
But so he takes that on the Wednesday, and he gets a negative. So we think that the PCR might have been a false positive. And I take another rapid because on Thursday I'm doing the Troubadour with Ron Funches and Blair Saki and Brian Posehn.
That sounds like it was a fun show, was it?
That was a really fun show. Though I did get trolled afterwards. It's called negging, right? When someone says something negative, but they say something nice.
Yes.
So this very older woman comes up to me after the show with Ron Funches, and she goes, "You're really funny. I liked your stuff even when I didn't agree with it."
I don't think
pauses, and then she pauses and goes, "That's a compliment," and then blows by me. And I was like, "What did you not agree with? I did the generations thing. I didn't do anything. What could you have not agreed with?" And so to this day, and we're talking 4 days later, I'm still thinking about it. And that I think is the definition of some sort of negative talk. And now I want her to go out with me. So,
oh, that is negging then. It works. And now you want to be your friend. Sure.
Exactly. And so anyway, so tomorrow I have to drive to Andy's mom's, and he's going to drive here. And then I'm going to come back here Thursday, and he's going to go back there. And then Friday I go to Seattle, and then I come back Sunday.
I am in, that's a lot. You have a big week emotionally.
Yeah.
I'm in New York on Saturday night, so I'll be at the Stand the first half of Saturday night, and the second half I'm at the Broadway. So and it's back to back, so I only have to take one cab ride. This is nice. Not going back and forth. Those start to eat up. And other than that, I'm just sort of I'm at the Pleasure Chest on Tuesday night.
Is Eli doing that again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I'm at the Yard on Wednesday night. And
is that Jared Logan's thing? Clank?
At the Yard?
Yeah.
No, it's Monique Moreau is doing a show there. Yeah, on Wednesday night, this Wednesday. And
I was supposed to do Bark, and then I was supposed to do a show on York and Eagle Rock on Thursday. I still think I can do the Thursday. I cannot do Vance's show on Wednesday. Maria's doing it. A bunch of great people are doing it. It's in the Barclay.
Yeah. I've been there. He asked if I wanted to take your spot, and my kid has a team banquet, so for the first half of the night I'll be at the banquet, then I'm going to run over to the Yard. So I
nice.
Get more stuff in. But if you give up your Thursday, I'll take it if I haven't, if they want me.
Okay. I'm hoping to still do the Thursday, but
cancel it and give it to me.
Here's what I was going to say about the Barclay restaurant. It looks like a restaurant that should be able to make a good steak. It is not. It even makes a shitty club sandwich. I was like, what is the only thing going on at the Barclay is the bar has a row of career drunks.
Oh.
And then that back room has a lot of chairs stacked in it, and Vance has a show there, and it's super fun.
It's a row of career boyfriends. That's what I consider it.
Well, start working the angles. I recommend you just go up and go, "This needs a tune-up. Who wants in?"
Wasn't that your old line in?
Yes, it was, and it was occasionally successful. Yeah, and whatever. If you're gonna settle, you might as well just set the parameters low right from the get.
I made I made one Instagram video or one that I posted on Instagram to promote my show, and I looked so bad. I was like, this is crushing. But I thought, oh fuck it, I think it's funny, so I'll put it up, and people can just get used to how bad I look, please. Very quickly, I see Kyle, we're at an hour. I did invest. This is a backdrop behind me. Like I have like a giant backdrop. Can you see?
Oh wow.
Oh
Yeah. And so I'm going to try to make myself look better. I just need better lighting and things I mean, I still do look like shit in person, but there's no reason I shouldn't look better on video.
camera.
Lighting. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Those are the tools.